We begin today's show with some, I would say, concerning, troubling Cowboys injury news. Leighton Vander Esch will be eligible to come off of IR next week. However, it does not sound like he's all that close to coming back from injured reserve. Stephen Jones dropping this tip. I think it was on 105 The Fan, if I saw that correctly. On the LVE injury front, it's still a question mark as to when or will he come back this year. I think that's a work in progress. But it certainly won't be this week, or for that matter, probably not in the next couple of weeks. I remember when it was a 4 to 6 week injury. This is exactly what we warned about. The Cowboys do not tell the truth about injuries. They lie constantly. That it was a neck injury for Leighton Vander Esch was a massive red flag. I don't know if we're going to get him back. You know, if Jerry would have said, we're going to get Vander Esch back soon as part of his trade deadline spin, if they thought he was going to get back soon. So I am troubled about LVE. Marquise Bell, Damone Clark, not great against Philly, not a massive problem necessarily either. It's going to be those guys, it seems, going forward at linebacker, because I don't know when you're going to get Vander Esch back. Help us reach 172,000 subscribers. We are at 850 away, I should say. Appreciate everyone who has subbed already, about 1,000 new ones, over 1,000 new ones from our Eagles watch party. Hit that sub button and don't miss out. Let's go to some overreactions here for the Dallas Cowboys. First up, is the running game broken? Yes, it is. Not the first time it's been broken, mind you, but it is, once again, broken. It is a real problem right now for the Cowboys. This has been a problem really 3 years in a row, including this year, where the ground game just stops working. And this year, it kind of never really got going. There were some chunk gains by Pollard, some explosive plays, really all season, minus against maybe one of the worst run defenses in the NFL in Arizona. They have not run the ball efficiently or for big plays. They made changes. They had to make changes. It wasn't working last year. The changes they made haven't really worked. There's a lot of different reasons why, but there's been an over yard per carry drop for Tony Pollard. It's now back to 4 yards a carry, which is replacement level. That's kind of where my mindset there. And it's been a little bit better for Tony Pollard. It's also not been great for Rico Dowdle, who I wouldn't mind giving more touches to on the ground. I think that might be a little bit better fit. If you're going to, I'm going to keep calling it their tight zone. That's not actually a thing, but that's what I'm going to call it, because it's not duo. It's kind of more power, some inside zone stuff in there. They're pulling some guys. And the offensive line is your biggest reason. There are not holes the way there used to be. Every now and then there's one. Sometimes there's one that gets called back for a holding, a fictional holding call on Luke Schoonmaker that negates a huge Rico Dowdle gain. But the run blocking grades outside of Tyler Smith, down across the board. Tyron and Tyler have been fine. Biadasz has not been very good this year. Hate to say it. Zach Martin has been down, I think because, as we'll get into, Terence Steele is not the same guy he was last year. It's a very real concern for me. The Cowboys, by the way, are 31st in early down run EPA. They're second to last in the NFL. It's not that they are not trying to run the football. It's that they can't. Teams are daring them to run, just like they were down the stretch the past 2 seasons. And the Cowboys go, okay, well, we're going to run it. Shit, 2 yards. It's a real issue right now for the Cowboys. So what is your panic level over this ground game? I'm at a high level. I think you guys would agree with me. Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. This one's something. This is a real take I saw on social media from verified, analysts. Got to start Trey Lance over Dak Prescott now. Really? Drug test required if that is what your takeaway was from the game against Philadelphia. The reality is right now, with an iffy offensive line and a non-existent ground game, is that your quarterback is carrying this offense. He, CeeDee Lamb, and I'd say Jake Ferguson as well. It's not to say he's perfect, not to say he's not missing some throws or missing a read occasionally, but the overall picture from the past 3 games when the Cowboys made their tangible changes to the offense is that Dak Prescott has been nails the past 3 games. 71.4% completion percentage, 950 passing yards. That's well over 300 per game. Plus 73 yards on the ground. 9 total touchdowns, 1 turnover. There are 32 NFL teams that would kill for that 3-game sample size of quarterback. Every single team would love it. Not to say he's perfect, but you can go to EPA per play, expected points added. Past 3 weeks, or past 4 weeks, I should say, because the Cowboys' bye was in there. Cowboys had the number 1 drop-back offense over Philly, over, by the way, a really good C.J. Stroud Texans passing game. Minnesota, kind of mostly carried by some good Kirk Cousins play, and Joe Burrow's been back too. Offense has been great, passing game-wise. It's the other stuff that's causing concerns. We'll get to that and some of my concerns on the passing game as well. But first, a word from today's sponsor. That is Game Time. You shouldn't be concerned about getting tickets to your next sporting event or theater or comedy show or whatever. It's why we love Game Time here at Chat Sports. They have deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute deals. Find exclusive flash deals, sponsored deals on any event you're looking for. The Game Time guarantee means you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So download the Game Time app at gametime.co, create your account, and then hit the profile button, bottom right of the app itself, and then go to redeem code. Plug in Cowboys Chat. That's COWBOYSCHAT, Cowboys Chat, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but create your account and redeem that code right now for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, the lowest price, all guaranteed. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Now for my concern. Can the offense sustain this? I'm not sure. I am worried about it because the overall metrics are really good, but they're also kind of unsustainable. I do not enjoy, I do not find it sustainable an offense built out of unreal third down play. And that's what's happening right now. Dak Prescott, who has always been very good on third down, talking top 10 quarterback against everybody who's eligible. That includes like Drew Brees, et cetera, and Brady, on third down since he entered the league back in 2016. 7th overall in that time frame. The version we're seeing right now is unbelievably good. Again, EPA per play on third downs. Are you converting third downs? That's what this basically says. Like, you're getting third downs and getting big plays. 0.514 EPA per play. That is every third down snap, it's a half point that your quarterback is providing. That's insane. Like, these numbers you see here are all really good numbers. Purdy, Allen, Hurts, Mahomes. And we're talking about damn near doubling them. To put the 0.514 in perspective, here are your third down EPA per play leaders by year. It'd be the best of the past 4 seasons. This is MVP level shit your quarterback's doing on third downs. It's unbelievable. It is saving your offense. But here's the thing. You're not always going to have the level. You can't. It's not sustainable. It honestly would put him in the MVP conversation, which I don't really think is going to happen. He's not going to win the division, so probably in the division, so you're not going to win it. But, like, that's the level of play we're talking about here. On third downs, Dak's better than anybody. I don't know if that's sustainable because you're going to have a bad game or a couple bad games. That's how football works. You can ask Mahomes. Had some bad games this year. Hasn't always had it. So can the other stuff step up if your quarterback is just okay on third downs and not lights out? I haven't seen it yet. That's what concerns me. Having to live on third down conversions is not a fun way to live because you're going to convert about half of them. It's stressful and it's not sustainable. At least at that level. It is sustainable to be, good, but not maybe, not quite that great. So grade Dak Prescott this year. A, B, C, D, or F. Sound off in the comments section. Let's talk offensive line issues here. Terence Steele, bench him. I am going to give this an overreaction, but not because Steele hasn't merited the conversation of it. He has not been good this year. Terence Steele had a really rough day at the office against the Eagles. Of the 5 sacks taken, or allowed, I should say, 4 of them were on Terence Steele. He has become a major problem for this Cowboys team. The issue I run into, as bad as, actually, let's go back to this part here. Showing how bad he was against Philadelphia. 4 sacks allowed, 1 hit, 7 hurries, a 62 PFF run grade. That's really bad. That's a horrible, terrible, no good showing. That sack in the red zone, terrible from Prescott, but he didn't have a chance. Even if he throws it away, it's grounding. Like everyone wanted that, right? It's grounding. The routes weren't really to the sidelines. Like there's not probably going to be grounding. Maybe you get lucky and you get away with it, but he completes his drop and he's sacked. Like there's not. That's bad. You're getting beat to the inside. Terence Steele is right now. My issue is who are we going to put out there? Matt Lutz goes on IR. TJ Bassett is a guard. Hoffman's a center. Austin Richards is not ready at this point. He's not there. He's also a left side player. You kind of got to keep Chuma Adoga over there. And if the solution is flip the struggling player to a brand new position, I think that's even worse. You might mention La'el Collins. It's fine to mention it. Practice squad if you want, but I think the root issue is that Terence Steele's not fully back yet from his injury. So I don't think a viable answer is, okay, well, if the guy from injury is not back yet, let's sign a guy who was even worse last year with more medical issues, had the exact same injury, and no one signed. That kind of feels like, okay, the 6 is not working. Let's try dating a 4. Wait, what? That math ain't working for me. So I think the unfortunate reality is you got to figure it out, and you got to help him more in pass protection in particular. Next overreaction is the NFC race over. Not yet, but this one hurts. Pun mostly intended. You are not out of it altogether. You are 2.5 games back. In theory, you'll trim that down to 2 games back by beating the Giants this week. And there is a scenario where you fight and claw your way back into it. The Eagles are on bye this week and then face a gauntlet. Chiefs, Bills, Niners. Can you have the Eagles lose one of those games, if not 2 of them? The Chiefs are a tough matchup. The Bills are not playing that well. Their defense is decimated, by the way. The Niners are going to be a tough game. That's a gauntlet for Philly. And you have an easier part of your schedule. Giants, Panthers, Commanders. You should win all 3 of those games. Got the Seahawks, a tough game, by the way. Extra prep time against Philadelphia. Can you go no worse than 4-1? And can the Eagles go 2-2? Just like that, you are back in it. But then your schedule gets tougher. So you're not out of it. But it is much more challenging to win it now that you've lost this week. Not out of it, but it's tougher. So will the Cowboys win the NFC East? Y for yes, N for no. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. One final thoughts on the officiating crew. Did the refs suck and the Cowboys still choke? Yes, they did. I don't think it's that hard to have 2 statements that are both correct. Both things are true, right? Certainly, especially if we take the fan glasses off on both sides, you Philly fans. Both things are true there. It's not, you're just blaming the refs. They sucked. They were terrible. Got fictional calls. You're throwing a flag on Gilmore for a ball 5 yards out of bounds. Schoonmaker's the one because he got tackled. There's non-holding calls on Micah Parsons, bad holding calls on Schoonmaker, missed calls on holding for the Cowboys. It was bad. It was bad. It was inconsistent. It's also not the only reason you lost. Despite all the screw-aroundery, to bleep out an expletive there, you had a chance, and you choked it away. Steele gets beat. You got some weird play calls, weird play designs. There were 2 flags on Philly on that final drive. Those were the correct calls. They were. You can't hit the quarterback 2 steps late. Bradbury didn't make a play on the football. Just pushed him out. Clear calls. Not the only reason you lost. But the refs were bad again. And in a 1-play game, it's really frustrating to have all those plays on offense, all those plays on defense, and several plays by the refs. That's annoying.